Hi there! We're going to look today at quilting with a straight stitch needle plate. Ooh, wow, what's that? And the 1/4 inch foot. How do you get a really perfect 1/4 inch seam with little muss, little fuss, and sometimes your machine eats your fabric? Well, we're going to show you how to not have that happen. So let's get started. Let's take a look at what the heck do I mean when I say what's a straight stitch needle plate. So let's take a look at a regular needle plate. I have this one right here. This is a regular needle plate that I've pulled off the machine, and you see right here I have this nice wide opening. That's an opening set up there for the machine to be able to do zigzag. Of course it could do straight stitch right in the middle, but it can also swing to both the right and the left, whatever it needs to do. And then we have the opening for feed dogs to be able to do the things they need to do. Now if I have a straight stitch, well, so let me say here, so if I'm sewing, I'm piecing with quilting, or I'm sewing some fabric and it's finer fabric, do you have occasionally where it kind of gets, the machine eats it, it gets stuck right down in here? Well, that's a really big opening, that's a really big hole. So we have an option with our needle plate, and that is to go over here, the one I've already put on the machine, and do you see in here how that little, I have now a little tiny hole. So the opening's for the feed dogs like we had before, but now just a single little tiny hole, so the needle is just going to be in straight stitch. Can't do zigzag because I'd hit the needle plate, but it can do straight stitch just perfectly fine. There's a lot of metal here. A lot of the needle plate will support the fabric and give an absolutely perfect stitch and will also not eat our fabric. Won't that be awesome? So let's take a look at how that works and what do I mean by that. I'm going to grab a 1/4 inch foot and just pop it on. And while I'm doing that, let me just talk a little bit about 1/4 inch feet too. Well, you know what? Let me back it up here so you can kind of see my little array of 1/4 inch feet. So when you buy a straight stitch needle plate, at least the ones that we sell, it comes with a straight stitch foot. That would be this one right here. And do you notice there's a little hole, again, like the needle plate right up there? Again, this is going to improve dramatically the preciseness and the precision of your straight stitch. The difficulty I have with this foot is that the 1/4 inch marking is actually right here on that toe, and that's hard for me to see. Can you see that? Yeah, we'll move that up here. Sarah will get it up closer so you can see. So the marking that is right here is the 1/4 inch. And I have a hard time guiding to that one, so that's my difficulty in this foot. When we look at the other 3 feet, let me pull these forward too so we can see them a little bit better. So we have some additional 3 feet here. 2 of these have these little guides on the edge, this one here and this one here. These are fabric guides. So when I run my fabric next to these little metal plates, it makes it really easy for me to get an accurate 1/4 inch seam. Super, super easy. Which makes these wonderful feet to have. This one is a slim profile foot. This one is the wider profile foot in the back. This little black thing is will allow us to get over thicker spots, and also if you start, sometimes it's difficult to get started on the fabric. This guy will allow us to get started more easily, so a little bit of extra goodies built into this foot. In the middle we have the clear guy, and I gotta say, if you're doing a lot of pivoting, this really allows you to see when you get up. I'm going to push it up here on this black line because I can see easily. That's a 1/4 inch line right there, and I've just got my 1/4 inch line up to the black line here, and I could pivot and then turn, and as I turn I'm going to have a perfect 1/4 right there. So it makes it really easy. I also have a 1/4 inch marking behind. This would be even with the needle right here. This would be a 1/4 inch past where I want it to go. So if I get up to here, I've got a 1/4 inch from where the needle is now to behind me. So lots of different markings to help me be very precise, and because it's clear, it makes it super easy to make sure that I'm being as accurate as possible with my piecing and my stitching. I'm going to put on this foot here today. We'll just put this guy on. Lots of good choices for you. So let me pop my little foot on. And I'm going to show you a little bit of piecing. So remember, I've got that straight stitch needle plate. I'm going to use my 1/4 inch foot with guide. So all I have to do is get my fabric lined up right here along the edge. So I've got that nice and tucked up there. Super tucked up. So I'm going to start stitching. Let's put my speed down a little so I don't run away with it. There we go. And all I have to do the whole time I'm stitching is keep my eyes right here and make sure that my fabric stays tucked right against that. I don't want to push so hard that it buckles, and I also don't want to let it have a gap. So my little stiletto is not actually helping, it's just pointing out the way there. And there we go. I've got a nice little piece. I did a 4.5 inch block here. When I raise that up, I have a really beautiful stitch there. That is really beautiful. So I have this really perfect stitch going on. Beautiful, beautiful. And now the next thing I wanted to show you is if we're piecing, I have 2 sets of these. So I'm going to have a little hump in the middle here. So I'm going to piece it one more time. And this foot can be helpful for getting over the hump. So let's just show that one more time. And again, all I'm going to have to do is keep my 2 raw edges right up against there. One reminder, when you have the straight stitch plate on, you cannot do zigzag. If I choose a zigzag, I am going to be breaking my needles. There is a safety mechanism that the straight stitch needle plate will not allow you to choose the zigzag. When I get up to here, now this one is not that hard. Sometimes you get up to the seams and it's hard for your machine to get over it. If that were the case, not today, but if that were the case, I just raise my presser foot and push in this little button. Once I hit the little button in, I would lower it. I'm trying to keep my fingers out of the camera. I would lower it again, and that little button would stay popped in, and I would just stitch over it. It would keep the foot level while I stitch over. And then once I'm over, we let it pop out, and we can go on our merry way. I really call that a hump jumper. It makes getting over the humps that you have in your seaming just that much easier. Let's get to the end of the stitching. And once again, let's take a look. I just really love the precision improvement with that straight stitch needle plate and that 1/4 inch foot. I don't think I could do better. I used a nice bright blue thread so that you could see my stitching today. And then I have this beautiful, crazy green and orange. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful.
Got an Irish theme going on.
I think I'm a little Irish today, yes. So, you know, what am I telling you here today is if you don't have a straight stitch needle plate, it's an excellent thing to add to your machine, to add to the precision work that you're doing. Some of the machines do come with them, and I think a lot of you don't know what the heck it is. So check out your machine, check in the owner's manual and see if it's an included accessory or if it's an additional accessory, or give us a call here at the store. We'd be glad to sort you out. So make sure you get a straight stitch needle plate and a 1/4 inch foot.
All right. So check out the link and you can see these products on our online store. These are the feet that we showed you today, the 1/4 inch feet and the straight stitch needle plate.